Hello, this is James Smith at gananalysis.net. If you want to email me, you can use that, or you can go to the website as well, www.gananalysis.net. If you register, you get a few free reports, and if you really like this video, do us a favor, give us a like, and join the channel, and hit notify. It helps a lot. So without further ado, let me just go into a very popular form of crypto called Ripple. XRP is the ticker, and you're probably familiar with it. It's gaining in popularity, but it's still really nothing like Ether or Bitcoin price-wise, and it's still trading down here. So it's really not taken off the way a lot of people would like. But let me just put on here the price. Now this would be yesterday's close, 56 cents. So it's really nothing compared to what, Bitcoin is. But, people have hopes for the future that Ripple will be a way to, if not replace, an alternative to SWIFT. It'll be the financialization. You'll be able to transact. It'll help that whole thing. I'm not here to discuss that. All I'm here to do is to tell you, hey, this thing has been going sideways forever. When is it ever going to take off? Now, you can argue that, hey, maybe that's just the way it is. Or you can say, hey, if there is going to be a rally in Ripple, maybe it happens in mid-September when all these Gann cycles come due. Now, if you look at this, you can see from the high to the low was 156 weeks. And then from that low to this low, 157, almost the same thing, basically a 3-year cycle. And nothing happened. It's still going sideways. Well, this is what I want to bring out here. If you're looking at Gann cycles, don't just look at one cycle. You have to look at many cycles. And 156, if you divide by 2, is 78. So 78 weeks is 1.5 years. You probably want to look at that. If you see that 156-week cycle gave you a low here, you should also be looking at 78-week cycles. And as it turns out, from this low to this low is 78 weeks. And then you got another 78-week cycle, which is 156 weeks. So we know there's something going on here. And then you get a high here, and you get a low here. And what we're saying is maybe this will be a low in sync with another 78-week cycle in mid-September. Now, I don't know if you can see that very well. Let me see if I can expand that. Let's see. Let me get it. Let's go a little bit bigger. Okay, there we go. Now, if we expand it, we see that 9/13 would be September 13th, the week ending September 13th. So the second week of September, you should be looking for something to happen. Now, does this guarantee? It's kind of like correlation versus causation. Correlation doesn't prove that something is true. You have to go with the idea of being skeptical, even though we have all these cycles due, 390, 180, 78, 104. 104 is just 2-year cycle, low to low. And then we have this higher low going into the 78-week cycle. We can't say for certain that it's going to turn one way or the other. In fact, we can't even say with certainty which way it's going to turn. All we can say is that you're going to get some sort of turn in September. So this is where time and price, Gann believed you have to look at both. So you can't just arbitrarily say, well, I know it's going to turn up. You can't say that. But what you can say is that if it sells off into this time frame, then maybe it might turn up. And even then, you're going to watch it to see what happens. If it starts to rally on big volume, it looks like it's going up big, kind of like it did over here, then okay, maybe you got something. Then you jump on board. You don't need to take the trade the moment the cycle comes due. You can sit there and watch it and make sure it validates your suspicion. At this point, it's just a suspicion. We don't know for sure. We do know that in the past, every 78 weeks, we get a change in trend. So a low, a high, a low, maybe a low. I don't know. Let's find out. So let's see what happens mid-September. If it starts to rally and it looks like it's impulsive like it is back here, then okay, maybe you jump on board. It beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. So that's the motto. You can't know anything with cyclists. You can't be overly rigorous. You can't look at it and say, well, I know what's going to happen. You don't know. Just be honest about it. We don't know for sure that it's going to rally, but we do know that if it starts to move up aggressively, we're going to want to jump on board. We also know that if it starts to sell off aggressively, hey, you don't want to be buying it. So you have to keep an open mind about the direction, knowing that all you really know from the 78-week cycle is that you're going to get a turn. And, it could be up or it could be down, but hey, if you watch it when that mid-September turn comes due, you can watch and see if it validates your suspicion. So that's what we're looking for. I hope this has been helpful. Again, if you register, you get some free reports, GANanalysis.net. And if you really like the service, maybe what you ought to think about is a 3-month trial subscription. When you register, you go in there, you'll see a shop button on the entry page, and you in the upper right corner, you hit the shop button, and you can subscribe for a month or 3 months, whatever suits your purpose. Try it out, see if you like it, and then I think you'll find it interesting. Remember, we cover all markets. We don't care what you're interested in. We care about GAN. If you got a data stream, we can cover it. So the idea is stocks, bonds, forex, commodities, and crypto. We do it all. And I really like crypto because it follows the GAN cycles really well. I mean, I started covering Bitcoin years ago, and I noticed that, man, it was hitting like clockwork. So I fully expect that something's going to happen in mid-September as this cycle comes due for XRP, Ripple. I'm saying that the cycles tend to work pretty well on crypto, and that includes Ripple. So be ready. Circle that week on your calendar so that you don't forget, and then come back and revisit it and tell me that, hey, nothing happened. I think you'll be surprised, or I think you'll be pleasantly surprised that something will happen. And if you're ready, that's a big part of it, being ready for the trade. Knowing the cycles, when they're going to come due, being ready to pull the trigger one way or the other and say, hey, I believe in the cycles, because I believe in science. Cycles are based on the rhythm of the market, and if you find the rhythm, you can trade on it. So all we're saying is that you be mentally prepared to take a trade in mid-September. If it starts moving up, you jump on board. If it starts moving down and you own it, hey, maybe you ought to dump some. But if it really starts to move up aggressively, that's what I think is going to happen. Maybe you got a reason to buy. So 78-week cycle, not by itself is important, but I really like the fact that you have all these other cycles coming due, and they don't have to come due exactly at the same time. This is, maybe this one gave you the low and this is a higher low. That's what I think is probable. But hey, let's let the market decide. The market is never wrong. I'm not here to advocate that you buy or sell Ripple. I'm here to advocate to actually explain the Gann theory and say, hey, there's something here. These Gann cycles work, and they're going to give you some sort of directional move in mid-September. That's all we're saying. Whether you buy or sell is up to you. You have to do your own research to figure out what is the best trade. But I'm telling you, the cycles are going to produce some sort of trend change in mid-September, and I'm hoping that you'll become a follower of W.D. Gann, because Gann did something that even today people don't pay attention to cycles. A lot of technicians only look at price. Well, Gann looked at both time and price, and I think there's some validation for that, and you're going to find out in mid-September that, hey, this is a real-time example, and it's not like I'm showing you something that happened in the past. I'm showing you something that's going to happen in the future, and you can decide whether it works or not. Good luck in your trading. Good luck in your Gann studies. Hope this has been helpful.